Hi, welcome to Digital Learning Day, and this session is called Nearpod, It's All You Need. My name is Dr. Tanya Sanders, and all of my research has been in engagement. Nearpod is one of my favorite tools because it can create a wonderful excitement in your classroom and engage your students. So the first thing I want to talk about is what is Nearpod? I like to kind of get creative, I guess, in my explanation. I talk about how Nearpod is a presentation tool. So like your Google Slides, your PowerPoint, any kind of presentation tool that you can think of, where it's giving you content, information, facts, information, content. So you take a presentation tool and you connect it with any kind of assessment tool, any kind of Web 2.0 interactive tool. So like a Padlet, like a Google Doc, more organized, link interactivity, slideshows, like a Quizlet, a Kahoot. You take all of those things and you put them together, and that's what Nearpod is. So the thing that Nearpod allows you to do is, one, you can browse pre-made lessons. So we could just stop right there and you could go in, log in using your Google, and I will show you how to do all of this stuff. But you can go in and just find lessons that other people made. You don't even have to do number 2 or number 3. Number 1, there are with the free version, and I'm going to comparatively go back and forth like that, like the free version, there are some good lessons out there that you can already use, but they are limited, of course. Browse pre-made lessons that have been approved by Nearpod, done by educators, and placed on their interface that you can use, and you can even edit those, adapt them for your own use. Number 2, you can build your own lessons. And 3, there's an edit mode where you can edit your own made ones, or you can edit the borrowed lessons. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is log in. I'm going to suggest that you use Google as a single sign-on. Very simplified way of people signing into a lot of tools is using your Google account. And I'll show you where to locate that in Nearpod's area. Now, the first one that I'm going to show you is the free version, and at the end, I'll give you a sneak peek of the paid version in a paid account. My opinion, I'm not a vendor, but my opinion, the free version is enough for me, just the way I want to use it, because I do like to mix things up in my classroom with lessons and different interactivity. So here we are on nearpod.com. And I found this by either Googling Nearpod and going to the very first available link, or I just put in nearpod.com. After a while, my browser remembers it anyway, so I just go there. So follow my mouse here. This is where you would send students to join a lesson. And normally in my longer classes, my 2 to 3 day classes that we hold at NWOET or at your district, I will have the teachers use a code from my lesson into the student area to show how it mimics for a student, how it's going to look for a student in your classroom. Here's where you can go for the teachers. I usually just hit login. I don't hit sign up for free. It's my, if it is my first time and I hit login, it's going to walk me through the steps anyways. And if you have a paid version, this is where the administrators are going to log in, discover more, understand how that interface is going to be different for a paid account as per a free account. But up here in the upper right hand corner, you can also do the same thing, sign up for free or log in. I'm just going to hit login. So you can see on the left hand side here that it has several options of logging in. Sign in with Google, you have your Office 365, Clever, and ClassLink. I'm just going to hit sign in with Google. It's going to bring up the window asking me which Google account I want to use. I'm going to choose my Sanders account at NWOET, and it's going to take me to the interface of Nearpod. Now, I know this is a free version, and if you can see, my window's not in the way, but in the upper right-hand corner, it would have a special icon. When I click on this icon, it shows that I'm silver in the free plan. And I will show you again at the end what the difference between the free plan and the paid plan. But the one thing that I want to take you here to show you the Manage Nearpod account and also lesson settings. if you go to the Manage Nearpod account, you'll find out more about yours. If you think you have a paid account, definitely go to your district first and see if there's a special way you're supposed to log in. Most generally, it's through a Google account. And if you log in through the Google account, then you'll see the paid version. But, just do a little, research before you jump in right away. But the lesson settings, the things that I want you to look at are the collaborative option, enable collaborative board for student-paced. And you'll understand how important that is when we come to a student-paced lesson. And you can do a lesson two ways. You can give it to the students as a link in your learning management system. They click on the link, they use the join code, and boom, they're in, and they can control it however they want, and they can collaborate on certain things. But the thing is, when they go to collaborate, sometimes it'll say it has to be approved before it's posted, or it'll say they can't collaborate. So turning this on will allow the students to collaborate on that lesson without you there. When you're doing a teacher-paced lesson, you are there, you're in control of everything, so that's not a necessity at that time. So now we're to that first most important thing that Nearpod allows you to do. We are going to browse lessons. We're going to go to the Nearpod library, and we're going to select certain criteria, pick a lesson, and then we're going to add it to your lessons. Since I'm logged in already, as I have shown you, that I can see on the left-hand side the panel of navigation for me. Now, if I want to join a lesson, let's say one of my colleagues wants me to join his or her lesson, I can join code there. I could also log out and join from a different perspective. You shouldn't have any problem going from being a student to a teacher, from back to a student, back to a teacher. You shouldn't have any issues with that. But of course, look into your tech department and the purchases. And if you do have issues with it, they can help you out with that. Underneath my lessons, these are the lessons I've either borrowed or created with Nearpod. Any of the lessons that I have done, I have reports on those lessons. And under that, we have the Nearpod library. So I'm going to go back to the Nearpod library. Okay, so here's the reports that I have every time, even on student-paced, every time someone interacts with your Nearpod interactive lesson, every time they interact with that, it creates a report in that lesson. So here's the Nearpod library. And like I said, you can find a lot of them for free. This is in free. So I'm gonna just select lessons because I don't want just activities and I don't want just videos. I want all of that stuff together. Remember, I said it's a presentation tool with content in it, but it also has activities like a collaborative board, a drawing, quizzes. It has all of those things available for you. And I want the whole package. I want the whole lesson. Now, I can choose by certain state standards. I do want to give you a heads up. All the resources that I teach that are connected to state standards, sometimes it is limited and it's discouraging. So, go at your own risk there. I'm not going to do it because, presenter suicide. I don't want to not find something that I really want, but you can go down to Ohio standards and select those. So I'm just going to choose English language arts. I'm going to choose first grade, and I can keep narrowing it down by even getting something more specific in the search criteria. But I'm just going to go down here because it already has English language arts, grade 1, and it will include anything like that's 1 through 3, 1 through 4, whatever is available for that. So I'm just going to choose one of these. I'm going to choose fables. That sounds like fun. And I can preview this lesson. It will bring up a nice little window that will show several things that I can do. I can look at the information related to this presentation. I can share the preview with a colleague of mine. Maybe we're team teaching something, but I also can preview it. So I'm going to hit preview. And this one, it has teacher materials connected to it. Not all of them have teacher materials connected to it. So it has 2 pages of teacher information. So I can click on that, read it, see what the teacher expected me to do with that, and then go on to the first one. Essential question: how can I better understand a fable? Walking through the lesson. And of course, since this is a borrowed lesson, you can allow the students to see what you want or not. So I could delete this slide if I just didn't want them to see it, if I just wanted to say it out loud to them that for 10 minutes, we're going to engage, explore. 20 minutes, I'm going to be explaining and elaborating. In 10 minutes, you're going to be evaluated. Okay, so this is the first 10 minutes where we're going to engage and explore. So we're going to have content and some activities. Here's a poll, and it shows the poll, and it gives you a demonstration of that poll. So how much do you already know about fables? I know a lot, a little bit, I don't know anything. And that's what the students would see. So you're kind of seeing a little bit of what the experience would be like from the student's perspective. So right here, it says, write the name of a fable. This is the collaborative board that I was telling you about. That's like a Padlet or Well-Wisher for any of my more experienced educators out there that remember that. But what the student would do is put their comments down here. They can also add an image, and then they would post. So I can put down a fable that I really enjoy, and I can post it, and then it shows how that it presents it. So I can go through the whole presentation like that, experiencing it as the students would experience it, and see all the nice things that are available there. The really great thing available, I'm gonna hit allow on the microphone because it allows me to record audio here. That popped up for me if you didn't see that. It said, do you want it to use your microphone? I was like, sure. And this is just a preview, so it's just walking me through it. The thing that I like also added to this preview is it has related content on the side. So if this isn't exactly what I wanted, I definitely can find some other things related to it. But the perfect thing that I told you I'd do, and I promised I'd do, is I'm going to add this to my lesson. So I'm just going to hit add to my lessons, and it's adding it. So it's going to take me, not take me there. It's going to allow me to add that directly to my lesson. So I'm going to click show in my lessons, and it's going to go all the way back to that original screen that we started with. So here it is in my lessons, there's the fable one. And then when I hover over it, I can do several things. I can edit it, I can preview it, I can do it student paced, I can do it live participation, or I can do the ... and delete it, duplicate it. I like using duplicate to save myself time. So if I have different sections or differentiation that I want to implement within my classroom, I can duplicate, take out the things or add things that I need to help make that available to different groups of students or different classrooms. So now I'm going to show you how to build something from scratch. And this is the free way. So the first thing you can do, I'm going to show you that you can create new or upload a presentation. This is how I usually start my class. I have the teachers going into either Google Slides and creating a structure template, a skeleton, if you will, of a lesson that has the content in it, or PowerPoint, or wherever, whatever your favorite presentation tool is. Keynote, I'm sure we can export from there and bring it in. But basically, I usually start them in Google Slides. We export that presentation or download that presentation, and then we bring it into a Nearpod and use it in there. And it's a nice skeleton to add other materials, activities to it. Now, you don't have to do it that way. We can just create a blank one, create new, and I'm going to show you where that is. And then after that, you just add content, activities, upload different things that you want to put in there. So here we are in the free account that I'm showing you, and you have a create button. So I can create a lesson, create a video, create an activity. This is paid. When I click on that, if I click on that, it's going to tell me that I can't do that. I have to have a paid version. I think you get a so many day trial free to try that. And this is actually kind of a nice tool. It's almost worth the paying of it. Like I said, I'm not a vendor, so I do like it in the paid account that I get to use through one of my districts. But yeah, I can make everything happen just in a lesson. So I'm just going to hit create a lesson, and it's going to open up a really nice area here, very intuitive in my mind. But I can name it through the settings, my DLD practice, put a description in, what grade it's available for, and subject. There it is. Everything's in there, and then submit. Now, right down here, we have, this is the simplest way, just right here, add content and activities. We're just starting from fresh, blank, boom, here I have it. But I can upload files, and check this out. I love the fact that we can upload images, PowerPoints, and PDFs. So even if I'm in my Google Slides, I can download all of them as images and then upload all of those images and use those as content slides, and then add interactivity to those. I'm not going to do that for you here today. I'm just going to hit add content and activities. And when I hit add content and activities, you can see that it breaks it down into two different slides, content and activities. Now the content ones, just like I said before in the content standards, that you're limited to whatever that system has. Web content, of course, you're limited to the entire web. So that's amazing. So you can just put a URL in there anywhere from the internet, and bam, it's going to work for the students. And it's actually kind of nice because it keeps them in that URL that they can explore and navigate around in that one. So in content, you can add a slide, and it'll give me a blank slide. That's usually what I use in here. This one is a blank slide that has like a slide editor that you can navigate multiple slides. And then I can add a video. And if I click that one, you'll see that it's going to give me some different options as well with that. So I can look in their video library and find something specific to, again, state standards, subject area, grade level. Nearpod 3D is one of those that you're kind of limited to what they have. So you got Nearpod 3D, you got FET, you got VR Field Trip, you got BBC Video. All of those are pretty much content that Nearpod has approved for their interface. So if I click on just one of them, it'll bring up a window and I can choose whatever content they have and search that. So if I select that I want the Taj Mahal sunset, and then I just hit done. So now it's going to add that field trip on that page. Now I just hit add again, and I can go to FET, and this is what I want. It's not what I want, but on the left-hand side, let me hit that one again. On the left-hand side, you can see that I can break it down into elementary math, middle school math, high school math. And so I can add that one again. I can also preview it, but I'm just adding a bunch of things in. So all of those look pretty much the same. If you're a Sway user, you can utilize Sway. PDF viewer, I like this because I can put a PDF in there for my teachers, my students, my participants to interact with that. And same thing with audio. If I click on audio, it's going to be like, hey, you want to upload it from your computer? Is it something you have in Google Drive? Or you can just drag and drop it in there. I don't have an audio file that I'm going to add in there now. So the second part of the combination, that relationship that I told you that Nearpod has, you have the content and then you have the activities. The activities are what brings in that collaborative board, like a matching game. The draw it. I love the draw it because you can put a math problem in there. The students can draw it. You can put a question, have the students develop something in the drawing tools with the text tools. They can even put images in there. Time to climb, I really like that because it's like a Kahoot game, but it virtually has these little characters going up a mountain or swimming through an ocean to get a treasure. It's just really nice, engaging activities for the students. Open-ended question is a nice way to start your presentation by saying, what do you think? How much do you already know about this? And we've already seen the poll that can be done as well. And the quiz is just multiple questions that gives them a question one at a time. And then for our Flipgrid users, you can go to Flipgrid, create your Flipgrid, get the link, add the link to this Nearpod, and bam, you have added a Flipgrid to your Nearpod. The students can interact with Flipgrid in the Nearpod the same way as they would if they were just doing Flipgrid. So now I'm going to show you the difference between paid versus free. So all I did was Googled Nearpod paid versus free, and it said pricing plans. And so I clicked on the link that said pricing plans. This is what I have right now is the silver plan, which is free. And this is all I need. I mean, I really, that's kind of my endeavor in being the associate director of academics for NWAT, is to find affordable things, if not free things, for teachers to use so they're not using up their budget on expensive tools. 40 students join per lesson. That's always enough, unless you have a reason to use it with more than 40 students. But primarily, our classroom sizes are under that. I hope they are anyways. And then the other thing is the 100 megabyte storage. That might become an issue eventually. Now, the one thing that is kind of a benefit with the paid version is you get more premium lessons that you can borrow. You have the Google Slide add-on, which again, I think that's really worth it. The 1 gigabyte of storage, that's big, and 75, and that's nothing. 75 students can join per lesson. But yeah, that's email and phone support. I'm sure if that's important to your admin. Sub plans, yeah, it might be beneficial. But like I said, at the end, I'm going to show you the Google Slide add-on, which is easily worth it. And then as you go up, you get 5 gigabytes, 90 students, all those same things. And then you can unlock some other things if you really are a huge Nearpod user with 250 plus students and unlimited storage. So besides using, going to Nearpod and entering your Google account, and then in that upper left-hand corner where it said join and putting in your own join code, or going into browse the lessons and previewing them where you're experiencing them as a student, I've created one. It's a career exploration Nearpod lesson. You can go to nearpod.com and enter the code RXW3C. This lesson is going to be open throughout June, the end of June, and you can experience it right now. So you can pause this video and go through and experience Nearpod on your own as a student. So now I'm going to give you a sneak peek into the Google Slide app, which I feel is pretty much the main feature that's makes the paid version worth it. Okay, so here I am at nearpod.com, and I've logged in to a different Chrome account, and it's a paid account. So basically what I did was I used my Google account at a school district that has a paid version of Nearpod. I come here. Now, if you're experiencing a student one, this is where you would put a student code. So that code that I gave you in the previous slide, you can enter it there. But if I'm going to log in as this teacher, I'm going to click login, and it's going to take me to that same screen that I showed you before, sign in with Google, and it's going to have me choose the account that I want to log in with. Well, since I've already logged in, it selected it for me. Now, I know this is a paid account because up in the upper right-hand corner, it has this cute little icon and it says Premium Plus, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go create and then Google Slide, and it's going to open in a new window. And if you've never done this before in a paid account, it's gonna walk you through the setup of doing the Nearpod in the Google Slide. And it shows you, one, go to add-ons. And what you'll look for is get add-ons. I already have Nearpod. Get add-ons, and then you'll search for it and install it. And then after you install it, it'll be up here in your add-ons. And it walks you through those steps. It tells you exactly what to do. So now I'm going to go to add-ons, Nearpod, open Nearpod. And it's just another panel that's off to the right-hand side that it's going to show you all those tools. It's almost an insult that I'm showing you this because I've already shown you this on your web page, and you can work really hard on the web page and get it done, but you also can kind of team up with the powerful tools of Google Slides along with Nearpod add-on right next to it. So here I am in Google Slides, and I'm just going to put add a slide, and I can add content here just like I would any other time, information. And I can even go up and make it a bulleted list. I can center it. I can do all the powerful things that I already know how to do in Google Slides. So that's functional in the way that it's always been. But all of a sudden, I just want to create something that is a collaborative board, a field trip, a fill in the blank. I want to do one of those things on a slide. If I have something here, I can convert it to a draw it. I can add an activity to the slides that I already have. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a brand new thing, and I'm going to do a draw it, just so you guys can see what the draw it looks like. So it opens up an editable window, and up in the left-hand corner, I can add an image, an audio, or other media to guide the students. So if I'm really techie and I want a video or audio recording of me explaining what they're going to do in here, I can do it. Maybe I can give them an image of a math problem, and then I give them the instructions over here. And all of this is intuitive. You just click on it, you navigate, upload, download, search, however you want to do that. So if I want an image, I can hit image, and then it's going to be like, oh, you want to go search Google? Yay, I'm going to find a Google image. I want to upload it from my computer. I want to find it in my Google Drive. So you can do all those things that normally it asks you to do anyways. But you can see all the options. Add web content. You want to put a URL up there. I like to have a URL up there and say, go to this website and, you know, tell me the answer to blah, 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 or put a PDF up there and then have them answer question 2. Yeah, so I can use this in many ways. You can have a blank background, so I can just place my question here. And then save. And I might have not shown you this, I didn't, but in the upper right hand corner, it said add a timer. So you could put a timer on it and tell the students that they have 30 seconds to draw something. And now you can see that I'm going to delete this slide, but it has the information slide. I have content, and then I have a draw it. Now what do I want to put? I want to put more content. I'm going to put it something from the BBC. So I click on BBC. I can search for something in here. I can click on something, and then I'm going to add it to my presentation. So I'm going to do Athens and democracy. Bam, done. I know what I'm doing is not making sense, but throwing all the tools in there together. I like to, before, when I'm doing a more organized kind of 3-day class of this, I will have a lesson. Like, for instance, I like to do Count of Monte Cristo and Revenge, getting back, you know, to be able to have the people interact with something real. So, and this is a quick session, so I thought I would just throw some different content in there and different activities. So here's the video, and if I want to edit the slide, I can edit the slide again. I can add a collaborative board, or I can use Google Tools to add another slide that's going to have content in there. And you can still manipulate it the way Google plans it to be. So you could have content, draw it, content, draw it. Now I can put a polling question in there. I can put a collaborative board. I can put web content. So I can put different things in there. But I'm happy with what I have. So I'm going to hit save and go to Nearpod. And bam, when I go there, it's going to take me to Nearpod, and it's going to show that it's saving that presentation. And it's going to have those same little rollovers, live participation, that's the teacher paste, or the student paste. The one thing, and there it is, live participation, student paste, and then I have my dots that I can delete or whatever. The one thing that I do want to point out is if you are doing student paste and you already have the code out there on your Google Classroom, or you've emailed that to someone and you want to go in and edit, it's going to make you regenerate a new code. Just thought I'd give you a heads up on that. That kind of can be a pain in the booty with some of the presentations that I've done for some conferences locally. So that's Nearpod. Nearpod, it's all you need. It really is when you're trying to integrate engaging activities, interactive activities, Web 2.0 activities with your regular content, kind of liven it up a little bit. If you need to get a hold of me, you can email me at sanders@nwat.org. I usually get back to you pretty quickly on any questions you might have about Nearpod or any of your technology integration needs. Now that you've completed this, make sure you enter the code NEARP at that link, at that bit.ly /2022 DLD, all capital letters on the DLD, so you can receive a PD certificate. Hey, I'm so glad you hung out with me. I look forward to hearing from you if you have any questions or even some exciting stories about how you use Nearpod in your class. Take care.